Ooh, I really enjoyed this episode. It had so many layers to it. I entitled it You See Me to My Soul because it was a tender moment between Aaron and Karen. It was funny and a lot of things was revealed. So let's get into it. Well, as we left off last week, the girls are in the store with the women from Africa who saw Sabrina in their magazine back home and so excited. Wanted Dani to take a picture of them. Of course, Dani obliged. She was super duper excited right along with them. Sabrina was in total shock because she like a real prince. Dani, like you on your Meghan Markle shit. Like this is coming to America, Eddie Murphy. She's so excited. But she can't believe that she did not look him up. And Sabrina kept saying, no, I had no idea. I didn't look him up. Dani, like, come on. We all look up what we do. When we interested in someone or we know somebody's interested in us, we gonna go surfing through social media, start Googling. Come on, she had to be curious, especially with all that money he had in the bank. Like, who has that much money that's not probably doing something illegal or some big CEO of a company? So, Dani's like, come on now. She said, I really didn't know. Then she caved in and said, yes, I looked him up. But I did not know, he was a prince. Wherever she looked up didn't say that. Well, it would be hard to figure that out, right? That's not going to be listed unless, you are globally searching for him and the company. I mean, not the company, but the country that he's from, right? So she didn't have that information. And so they about to leave because, they supposed to be meeting over Dani's and, getting with all the girls. But she tells her, don't say anything. Sabrina didn't want Dani to share with the girls. And she said, listen, this is too huge not to say anything. But all right, I won't. Now we get back to our girl Fatima, who is, about to have a fit. But she's excited about the fact that she's out of jail. But of course, she wants to go in and see Zach. So she tells her that there's nothing she really can do about it right now. She spoke to the people in the back, and I guess they saying, he has to wait. Can't see him right now, Zach. So she was like, please, she's pleading with her. Can you talk to Robin? See what he could do. He got her out. Maybe he could get her out. Now, Robin already told Andi the situation that it's going to be harder with him because of his background, but she's going to see what it is she can do with all the begging and pleading. She called Robin. So she called him. Rob, asked him, thank you. Fatima's out. But what about Zach? And like he told her before, it's a little bit harder. But he put a call into the judge that owes him a favor. And hopefully he'll get back in the morning. But relax, he'll handle it. So she went back to Fatima and explained. And she said, okay, I'll wait. But she got some boys, people that she know that can get them out. Andi like, is it legal? She was like, no. She was like, but be patient. Don't stay here. What you gonna do here? Just go home, relax. We'll come back in the morning. At least we know for sure you can get in to see him in the morning. So hopefully she's hoping everything works out. Now, in the meantime, our man, Maurice is a little distraught. He's distraught because, here we got Q in his house. Calvin not respecting his wishes. He already was struggling with his emotions for him because, he was feeling a little something for Q before. And here is Calvin. Calvin all a little tipsy. He at the club too. And Maurice like, what you doing here at a gay club? So he's basically saying, love is love. Whatever that means, Calvin. But you're right. Love is love. But, are you bi? What is it? It's like some underlying things I think you need to work out. So Maurice in the meantime is telling him, he doesn't want to go back home. He's fighting that, chocolate goodness on his couch back home. And, Calvin's having a little talk with him, I guess, about the whole situation. Maurice not trying to hear it because he's not comfortable with Q there. And his friend is basically shocked that he would let a man who robbed him at a bank, held him at gunpoint in his place, stay in his house, which it's insane. But he's out there trying to seek a little relief, okay, to be continued with that. Now here is the tender moment. Karen is asking Aaron what he's doing. She was eating her little pickles. He got her pickles and ice cream. And he basically telling her, he's drawing. That's what he does, I guess, to relax. And she said, "Oh, wow. What is it? You drawing. Can I see?" And he showed her a picture. And she's basically like, is that supposed to be me? She didn't know he knew how to draw. He was like, "Yeah, I do this. I draw my thoughts sometimes." So she asked if she could see. He's looking at it. And she was like, "This is supposed to be me. Then it's not a good job because it's not looking like me." He explained to her that it's her when she gets older. She said, "Well, if this is me getting old, I age pretty bad." He was like, "No, look closer. Look closer." The words and I guess the lines around her face, all the detail, he put certain descriptions of her, words of expression, which was so deep and it really touched her. It even had me nearly in tears because he really tapped into her soul. He said what you was going through, I guess, in her journey down from, her having a baby, giving birth to a child out of chaos. I'm there through it all, through your pain. He, described everything that she's been going through. Like he tapped into all of her emotions. And it really got me to see, try to understand a little bit more from Karen. I was pissed off with her for a while with her actions with Zach and Fatima. But she's a woman. She's a woman who loved a man who no longer loves her. And, now he's with another woman wishing she, can have that which another woman has. And I get that because sometimes men, not until they with us later on do they start learning things about life and finally get their lives together after we're no longer with them. That happens sometimes. Sometimes it's just bad timing or you just not the one for them. But it touched her so much that she wanted him to make love to her. So this is, he was with it because this is what he's been waiting for. I just hope she's feeling this way genuinely and not just out of a vulnerable moment. Now, here we are with Fuego. Of course, he gonna look for these little, bugs or whatever that may be in Andi's apartment. She wants him, basically do a sweep. This is a new place. I want to make sure everything's in order. So he's admiring the apartment. She like, "Thank you." So they having a little idle chit chat because, he's very professional in how he's, conducting himself. But you also know he's a stripper. So he's a little taken aback. "Why you staring at me?" Because, you wonder how the stripper doing all this. And she was like, "No, I knew how you were. You were very smart when you were in college." So she knew he could do better with himself. But sometimes the journey, takes a little detour. I'm glad he got his little business going. So now here are the girls. And, Sabrina and her sweet self is greeting him. She's happy to see him. They all know each other from college. So Dani checking him out. And, she had some really, nice words of admiration about Fuego. But, they still a little suspicious. Like, why Dani got to go through all this with Gary? Why she want to deal with someone who would potentially put a bug in her apartment. So they're saying, we're here because of Karen. We haven't heard from her all day. We think that her and Aaron may have gone to the doctor. So they're like, "Whoa, you haven't heard from her?" Andi realizes she hasn't called her. So now they're a little concerned. And so Dani shares with them that Karen is looking to get Zach back. And Andi's like, "No, he's into Fatima. She's not getting him back. Maybe if we tell him explain to her why she's not with him, the bad thing he's done." And Dani like, "Did that work for you with Gary?" "No." So she's like, "This is not about me. This is about them." So Fuego comes back, says there's no bugs in the apartment. Of course, Andi's like surprised, but happy at the same time. And they're really starting, to be concerned about Karen. But before he leaves, our girl Dani gotta, holler at him, say a few words. She wanted to apologize about all the stuff that's been going on with her and hoping she can make up. Maybe they can go and talk over dinner. He like, "Sure, but we're not going to no restaurant. You making me a home cooked meal." Okay, he's going over by her spot, and I guess, he want to see if he can get a little cozy with her. So we see where this goes with Dani and old Fuego. Now, in the meantime, Andi contacts Robin because, they wanted to hook up later, but she has to go see about her girl now. Something's going on with Karen. She knows it may be late. He said, "We can't make it out again." But then she goes on to tell him, she thinks about it, "Why don't you come over tonight. Spend the night. And of course, my man liked the word sound of that. So he will be meeting up with her later when she finishes her time out with the girls. We gonna see how that unravels. Now the part Pierre de Resistance. Our man Robin goes in to see Hayden. So he tells him, hey, what's going on? I found out all this has been going on, around the office. Your girl, came in, Fatima, and, she's going through all this stuff. He was like, yeah, this bee is crazy. She wrecked my place. And, he's going to tell him, yeah, I heard her ex or whatever. You must have really put it on her because, I heard her ex was by and all this madness that went on. So if she that crazy, you must have really did something to her. And so, his little ego stroking like, yeah, he put it down or whatever. But, I only mess with white girls because these chicks are crazy. That's why I don't be dealing with him. But, he stroked his little ego. So he thinking he did something. Little do you know, Robin, he didn't do a doggone thing. That girl do not want him. So he went on to talk about, how there's no fraternization policy going on. So he knows that he's seeing Andi and, you don't have to worry about that because you from the London office. Well, my man was like, no, there's nothing going on with me and Andi because I'm gay. I like her shoes, but that's about it. You more my type. All that gassing up and all that mouth that Hayden had going on. I guess talking about Fatima, he put a spring on him, telling him he was gay, and now looking at him, that blew, messed up Hayden's whole head. At that point, he wanted him out of there. Do you hear me? He looking like, what? He was like, yeah, I'm not interested in her. I'm gay. And to tell him that he's more of his type, well, all that talking at now, Hayden, what's going on? Then he reached out and touched him. Oh, man, no. I do not roll that way. Hayden said, no, I don't go there. So now it's like, get up my face. I guess he's not one of the boys now. He like, I don't go that way. So you can back up, you can leave. He's still trying to make idle chit chat with Hayden. Hayden like, look, I don't have nothing else left to say to you. You can just skedaddle on about your way. I don't care what office you with. I don't care how much clout you have around here. I want nothing to do with you. Now that I know you may be checking me out instead of Andi. So he gets up to get ready to leave and he gives him that one last glance out the door. And that had me almost spitting out my juice because I can imagine what was going through Hayden's mind. Now our girl Fatima, she gets that call from her man Zach. He calls her, telling her he's happy that she is out. Of course, she's worried. He's like, why aren't you here? She was like, I wanted to be there, but Andi told me to leave. And he's like, well, what you wanted to stay here for? She was like, because I just wanted to be there for you. And, they just got like that old school love. That old school on the phone, the 80s and 90s when we be on the phone, all cuddled up and sweet talking and talking until we fall asleep at night. That's how these two, that's what I imagine when I think about these two. So she's going off all pissed off that she can't stand Hayden's ass. She want to beat him down and get back at him for what he did to both of them. He was like, I understand how you feel, babe. I understand. But he's not here. Let's not dwell on them. Let's keep it positive. Zach is all about staying positive. And she brought that best side out in him. So he's like, let's just focus on me and you. Did you cook? She was like, no, I ain't cook. I can't think about eating right now. He's like, no, just humor me. What would you have made if I was there? So she went on to say some fried chicken, some mashed potatoes, kale greens, apple pie. And he all smiling. And, she was just, saying how much she loved him. And, you'll be home soon. And how he's going to put a ring on her finger. Because he was talking all this stuff, you're going to move into the house with me. She was like, I don't see no ring on this finger. He was like, babe, it's going to happen soon enough. I'm like, yes. I just loved him. So, of course, the operator came on and he had to hang up. But to be continued next week with old Zach. Now, this was another humdinger. Oh, my God, how this ended. Now you have, our tipsy Calvin coming home to old Q on the couch. And he all giggling and stuff, wanting to chit-chat. And Q goes to get him some water because, he knows he out of it. So he say he needs something to drink. So he go get him some water. Then he starts bad mouthing Sabrina. The true serum that comes out when people start to drink sometimes. And then he's saying, no, he can't say that. She's a beautiful woman, but, she thinks I'm gay. And he says, I understand that. So Calvin's like, what do you mean you understand? You gay. So it's not like, I'm not gay. So, how you saying you understand the situation? It's not like mine. And so he was like, I'm not gay. He was like, yes, you are. He said, no, I do this for business. It's all about the money for me. That's what I'm focused on. I do this not just to men, but I do it to women too. I'm not, he said, well, maybe you bisexual. He said, I'm not bisexual. I'm cast sexual. So Calvin thought that was funny. They keep keying, cast sexual. Uh-huh. So he's going on to tell him the issue that he had with Sabrina was the fact that, he was at her house once, they were getting intimate, and he found a vibrator, and he wanted her to use the vibrator on him. So, first Q was taken back, like, why would you want that? You got the same equipment. Why would you want to use that? He was like, no, I wanted her to use it on me. Oh, woo, he went down the rabbit hole on that one. So now Q in the back of his mind, stuff probably stirring. So now he kind of propositions Calvin like, okay, we'll see. That feels good. She don't know how good it feel. So now I guess he want to dabble a little bit with Calvin. And Calvin's looking like, huh? Did he get to you, Calvin? Is he now really getting you to see what it is you really like? Are you bisexual? What's going on with this love triangle, so to speak, with Maurice, Q, and Calvin? What will go down? It's getting insane next week, family. What's going to happen? Zach is looking at 10 to 15 years, if you saw in the preview, which is absolutely crazy. It makes no sense. And then you have Maurice, who busted in and found... He busted in on Q and Calvin. What did he see? Was they in a compromising position? Who knows? And now Gary is spying in Andi's apartment. Does he see him and Andi in a compromising position? Will it be revealed that no way Robin is gay? That's a lie. And he goes back and tell Hayden, or was he interrupted just in time? We shall see next week. Until then, stay authentically you, live the life you deserve, and keep being fabulous. Peace out.